images,
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
one of the images that I uploaded, I didn't do it right. I didn't realize like it was just a picture of a wall.
Mhm.
And you did tell me there's no depth of field there. I'm like, of course, duh,
Right.
that's what the whole project was about. I didn't even think about that. So I definitely want to resubmit that.
Okay,
Yeah,
great. Yeah,
for sure. And so how would I do it? Just the same, like put it in a file and then send it over? Just
exactly.
that one?
So yeah,
Okay.
you know, compress it, zip it, and
And send it over to you.
and
Okay.
yeah, and submit it, because you can, it will take it.
Okay, I can still submit.
Yeah, you can
Correct.
resubmit.
Okay,
So,
great. I will do that. And thank you so much for that opportunity.
oh, of course, of course. Yeah, I want everybody to, you know, the point is to learn it, you know. So let me share the screen. And we'll look at your images.
Okay.
So these are your aperture images, right?
Yes.
Yeah, great job. Let me get the information on them open.
Yeah, and even that was so interesting to me because I had no idea how we could do it to kind of like blur that background. Like I've seen so many, I've seen obviously so many images of people doing that, and it's something I just never knew how to do. So I'm definitely excited to like get out there, like outdoors, and really try.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's fun once you realize you can do something, you know. It's
Mm-hmm.
I think to go out and try it on different things.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is the image you made with the aperture at f3.5, the widest aperture.
Yeah.
And yeah, great. You focused on the foreground and the background went out of focus. And here at f22, probably the smallest or close to the
Yes.
smallest aperture your lens has. And yeah, the depth of field is very great. So definite difference there. It works really well. I shouldn't say that. A lot of portrait photographers like to use shallow depth of field to isolate the subject from the surrounding information. So you can see that the composition is the same essentially, but where you are supposed to look changes.
Yes.
Because with the great depth of field, everything has the same, what's the word I want?
Maybe like
Importance, you know, nothing really is
blurred, so you can.
presented as being the more prominent thing.
Yeah.
And so depth of field really changes that. You could, I mean, there are other things that change it also. You could have, you know, slightly darker areas on the edges, which directs you into the center.
I did notice that happen in some of my images, and I didn't like it showing up darker. So why does it show up darker? That depends on the lighting?
In part, yeah, it certainly can depend on the lighting. It can also depend on your lens. Some lenses, especially wider angle lenses, can have a bit of fall off on the edges.
Mm-hmm.
So it, you know, that can be an issue. I'm going to guess you have a Canon.
I do.
And which?
I have the, what is it? The EOS Rebel, I think.
So that shouldn't be a problem with that camera and the lenses that go with that camera. So I would guess it's the lighting situation in which you were photographing. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I was in a different room when I was taking them, and I noticed like the background would come out a little darker, and I thought, I don't like that. Let me move over to a brighter room. And when I did, I noticed there was some
Oh,
difference.
okay. All right. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think you answered your own question there.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I just wasn't sure if that was like the real reason to it, or
Right.
maybe I did
Um,
something differently.
Well, it sounds as if in your situation anyway, that's what was going on. It's
Yeah.
not, that doesn't mean that that's always what's going on, but
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
okay, so yeah, great job here. F 5.6 was your aperture, so a stop and a half smaller than F3 in the F 3.5 in the last set. And still quite shallow depth of field when you come in close.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you back up, the depth of
What a
field is
difference.
definitely different. And
Yeah.
it's not just that you can't see it because you're further back. Even if you come in close, so I've zoomed in, you can still see that the depth of field is much greater. The background is much sharper.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great job on these two. And finally, changing the focal length of the lens.
Yeah, those are the ones where I didn't
Right.
think about. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, you're welcome. As I said, I said, you're welcome to redo them. I'll just explain, since I am recording this for the class, the reason you can't see a change in depth of field here is because there essentially is no depth. If you had had someone standing in front, in this area closer to you, then you would see a change in depth of field. But because there's nothing between you and the frame, and there's no space between the frame and the background, you can't see a change in the depth of field.
Yes.
So
Okay.
at 16 millimeters and 55 millimeters, there's, yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay. Great. Thank you so much. I will definitely resubmit those.
Okay, that'd be great. Any questions or anything?
No. So far, not with that. Um, I'm looking forward to our next project. I haven't gotten a chance to go through everything. Yeah. But
Great.
I know I saw this is going to be more about movement, right? For assignment number 2.
Yep. Yeah. Hopefully you'll have some fun with it.
Yes.
It can be fun. I hope.
Yes. And I did see how you mentioned you don't want us to have all pictures of only cars. So I understand that. Yeah. So I was going to ask you, okay, so would we be able to do something like, would it be possible to capture that like a bird, or no? With a
Absolutely.
bird?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So
So
maybe like a bird and then someone running? Or no?
Mhm,
Okay.
definitely. Sometimes the trick is to show that the object is in motion, even though you've frozen the motion. So, for example, cars. When you stop the motion of a car, it just looks like a parked car, or
Yes.
a car that's just sitting there. When you have, especially something in the air, a bird, a ball, someone jumping up in the air, then it's really obvious that that object or person was in motion, even though the motion is frozen.
Yeah.
So I hope that you'll play around with that and try different subjects, get your family to help you out and jump in the air or throw
Yeah.
things.
Okay, great. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, okay, I'm gonna have to get somebody out like on a bicycle or something, or somebody jumping. And I thought about the bird idea because in our backyard we get a lot of little hummingbirds.
Oh,
So
that
I
would
thought, yeah, I thought, oh, if only I can try, because they when they're eating, they have like their little wings go so fast.
Yeah,
So I thought, oh, I wonder if I'd be able to do it with that.
that would be
But
great.
I'm gonna try.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it'd be interesting. Yeah, that's
Um,
gonna be interesting if I can.
Definitely. To stop the motion of the hummingbird's wings, you need a really fast shutter speed. So
Okay. So
you might
probably,
try using a higher ISO rating, maybe 1600. If
yeah.
it's bright light out there, then you can stop down the shutter speed so that it's really fast, but still be able to open up the aperture so that you get enough light.
Yeah, okay. And the shutter speed also depends on the camera, right? Not all of them have the same shutter speed setting.
Your
Okay,
camera, I think, goes up to 1/4000th of a second. I
okay.
could be wrong about that. You should check it. But that should be more than fast enough to stop the motion of the hummingbird's wings. But I think that's what the maximum aperture is on your camera. But,
Okay.
yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Well, I'm definitely
Absolutely.
looking forward to that. Let me see. I'm trying to think if I have any other questions. No, I just kind of wanted to see if those were good ideas of being able to shoot those
Absolutely. Yeah.
images. Yeah.
Mhm.
And if I have any questions, if I have any trouble with like the settings, then I'll email you.
Yep.
Um,
Great.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'll be here for quite a while longer. So if you think of any in the next hour or a little bit more,
Yeah,
I'll
let
be
me,
here.
I'll go look now. Well, I know you have if I go look at the modules, it'll have some instructions there, right?
Has instructions and there are examples in the motion module.
Yeah, okay. Because I did see some of the examples. I didn't get to read all the instructions yet on how we change those settings. And so I'm looking forward to that. I wish we could have this in person.
Oh, I do too. It's fun to go out and shoot together and experiment.
Yeah, yeah, but it's still interesting. I've already learned some things that, I mean, I've had my camera for years and I never even really played with it just because I didn't know how to. And I had the manual, but then I ended up losing the instruction set. And I never bothered to look for another one. I mean, I'm sure I could find it like on the internet,
Oh,
or even
absolutely.
even
Yeah.
now videos with YouTube and yeah, but I just kind of just used it to take regular pictures. I never bothered to really look into it, but it's something I've always wanted to do. So I was excited, really excited about this class.
Oh, good. Well, I hope it continues to challenge you and
Yeah.
excite you.
Yeah. And later in the future, I wanted to upgrade to a different camera, like something that's a little more compact. But I wanted to ask your advice since we're here now, since I don't know much about cameras. What do you think about you've heard the what is it, the Alpha Sony? Is it?
Oh, is that the newer mirrorless? You know what? I'm going to stop recording.
Yes.
People don't have to listen to all of this. Thank you for coming.